Is it true that a private letter from Kim Taehyung to Jungkook, who is currently serving in the military, has been leaked and spread to the public? If so, how did this letter end up in the hands of the public, and what exactly is written in it that could leave anyone who reads it silent and deeply moved? The South Korean entertainment world is once again shaken by a sudden report that erupted across various social platforms and online news media. A personal letter allegedly written by Kim Taehyung, via BTS, to Jungkook, his groupmate currently undergoing mandatory military service, has been widely leaked on the internet. The contents of the leaked letter shocked many, not only because of the strong emotional nuance, but also due to the deep and meaningful messages it contains, filled with hidden cues regarding their internal conditions and personal relationship, topics that have long been the subject of public speculation. But most surprisingly is how a letter that was meant to be private could be leaked so widely. As of now, there's been no official statement from Big Hit Music, the agency managing BTS, regarding the authenticity of the letter. However, the uproar that has emerged cannot be easily silenced. Many industry observers have begun to question whether this leak was the result of internal system failure, sabotage, or part of a deliberate narrative to provoke a particular emotional response among fans. One thing is certain: the publication of content that should have remained confidential has created a ripple effect that not only evokes empathy, but also rekindles discussions about the psychological pressures BTS members face, especially during military service. Several sentences in the letter, allegedly handwritten by Taehyung, went viral within hours. Among them is the excerpt that reads, "I know there's no signal where you are now, but I hope my longing can reach even the farthest space in your mind." This line is perceived as an extremely intimate expression, full of empathy, and reflects a closeness beyond just being groupmates. Many netizens, including analysts of interpersonal relationships in the Korean celebrity world, noted that the language used in the letter demonstrates remarkable emotional depth. The fact that this letter appeared at the same time as rumors of internal tension within the group adds another layer of speculation that cannot be ignored. Is this letter an apology? Or perhaps an emotional confession that had long been held back? Some speculate that the letter was a response to recent reports about Jungkook's struggles in the military and his absence during specific moments that had drawn public attention. Unofficial sources from fan communities stated that the letter was first circulated through a Korean online forum known for leaking information about idols. In a short time, translations of the letter spread across global platforms, including Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit, eventually reaching the international ARMY community. Some fans even argue that this is no ordinary letter, but an emotional document that reveals the deepest side of two figures who have always appeared strong in public. However, not everyone welcomed the distribution of the letter. Several media figures, digital ethics experts, and lawyers who have handled celebrity privacy cases harshly criticized the breach of privacy. They described the incident as a deliberate emotional exploitation of public figures to increase media attention and viral content consumption. That, on the other hand, the contents of the letter also provided unmistakable clues about Jungkook's mental and psychological condition during his time in the military barracks. One of the most highlighted parts states, "I heard about the nights when you don't sleep, about the voices that keep bothering you in silence. I wish I could be there, just to listen without saying a word." This line opens a new discourse about the mental pressure experienced by Korean celebrities during mandatory military service, a topic that has only been lightly discussed. In the letter, Taehyung also appears to offer moral support and hope for togetherness in the future, implying a personal plan between them once military service is completed. When your time ends later, let's not return to the crowd in the same way. Let's make space just for us. This sentence again provokes speculation. Whether this signals a direction for a personal, professional, or even upcoming music project, the public and media now find themselves at a crossroads between sympathy and suspicion. On one hand, many believe the letter is a rare display of sincerity from an artist to his colleague. On the other hand, some view the event as part of a larger narrative strategy, possibly to support promotion or maintain personal branding relevance during military hiatus. However, to date, there is no strong evidence to fully support either narrative. Meanwhile, communication experts from several South Korean universities have begun analyzing the psychological impact of the letter's contents on the fan community. Professor Lee Sun-young of Yonsei University stated that such a letter can produce a transpersonal effect, where readers feel emotionally involved in a relationship they do not directly have. In mass communication psychology, this is called parasocial attachment, and in BTS's case, the level of attachment can be extremely intense, said Lee. Given the magnitude of this incident, many are urging Big Hit Music to quickly release an official clarification. As of now, the agency has yet to issue any statement regarding the authenticity of the letter, how it may have leaked, or whether legal action will be taken against the party responsible for its distribution. This delay in response is viewed by some analysts as a strategic misstep that could worsen the agency's image in handling privacy and public communication issues. If the letter's contents are indeed authentic and written in a deeply personal context, then this event has exposed a different side of the relationship between BTS members that has only ever appeared professional. However, if the letter is fake or fabricated, it constitutes a serious case of emotional manipulation of the public and may set a troubling precedent for the entertainment industry. Now, all eyes are on the next move from the agency and whether Jungkook and Taehyung will respond directly or choose to remain silent. Amidst this uncertainty, one thing is certain. The public is increasingly aware that behind the fame and spotlight lies an emotional life that is complex and vulnerable, one that cannot always be controlled by media strategies or agency policies. The lingering question in many people's minds is this: was the letter truly just for Jungkook, or was it also an intentional emotional communication to the world? The answer to this question seems to still await time, or may never be answered at all. However, in responding to every piece of information that spreads widely in today's fast-paced digital society, there is one principle that must never be forgotten. Truth does not always come in the most viral form. The emergence of the letter claimed to be from Kim Taehyung to Jungkook not only invites compassion and empathy, but also brings forth ethical, epistemological, and social dilemmas that must be examined seriously and deeply. IT has become a reality of today's media that information can spread so quickly, even before its validity can be tested. The letter in question first appeared on online platforms with highly fluctuating reputations: TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and several fan blogs. The fact that this information does not come from mainstream media with strict verification standards raises a fundamental question. Was this letter truly written by Taehyung, or is it merely a fictional narrative designed to draw public attention and emotion? That question is not only crucial from the perspective of journalism and communication ethics, but also touches on our collective responsibility as information consumers. Are we discerning enough to filter which information is valid and which is a product of emotional speculation? Have we become victims of a sensational industry that is increasingly hard to distinguish from reality? Further still, we must question, if this letter is genuine, is it ethical for the public to consume it? Do we have the right to read something that should be private and intimate just because it touches our hearts? In a public space whose boundaries are increasingly blurred, the privacy of celebrities becomes one of the most fragile things. And in this case, it is not only the content of the letter that is problematic, but also the context and the way it entered the public domain. Let us consider one equally plausible scenario. What if this letter is merely the result of fabrication by obsessive fans or certain individuals who understand mass psychology all too well? Isn't it easy today to create a fake narrative, simulate handwriting resembling that of a celebrity, add touching phrases, and distribute it through viral platforms for popularity or even monetization? Given that, we invite readers not to be immediately swept away by emotion. Don't believe something just because it feels touching. Don't share just because it's too beautiful not to. Remember, emotion is not a guarantee of truth. We must be honest. Most of the information about this letter comes from social media sources that lack journalistic authority, let alone investigative verification. Even some accounts that spread the letter have previously been known to share information later proven false. So, in this context, why do we continue to place full trust in sources that are not credible? If it is true that this letter is part of a promotional strategy, or even an emotional manipulation designed to maintain the public presence of the two BTS figures during their hiatus, then we must start questioning the role of the entertainment industry in shaping reality. Are we witnessing a real story? Or are we being manipulated by a grand narrative precisely designed by marketing teams and content producers? However, on the other hand, if the letter is indeed real and Taehyung truly wrote it in a frame of sincere emotion, then a new question arises. Is this an expression of anxiety, a sense of loss, or even emotional trauma due to the pressure they experience as global idols? Is this a manifestation of a public figure's personal unrest who, for years, had to suppress his humanity for the sake of a polished, agency-crafted image? We invite readers to reflect and ask, do I believe this is real simply because I want to? Or have I truly verified it? Have I ensured that what I read is a fact? Or did I just pass it along because it fits my emotion? The world of information today is no longer merely about right or wrong. It is a battlefield between truth, perception, and manipulation. Being critical does not mean being cynical. Skepticism does not mean hatred. Rather, through skepticism and reflection, we uphold the dignity of information and protect ourselves from manipulation that can occur at any moment. Therefore, before you share or believe the content of this letter, ask yourself and your conscience, is this real? Or is it merely a product of our collective desire to feel close to those who are in fact struggling in a silence we cannot comprehend?